Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to go over some guidelines for our Algebra Honors Project. So what you're going to do is you are going to imagine that you are in charge of raising funds for a cause that is meaningful to you. If you need ideas, you can find an inspiring cause at this website that's linked here. So what you've decided to do is design a product on Custom Ink that you can sell to your classmates to raise money. So Custom Ink is a website that lets anyone design t-shirts or other products. A lot of fundraising groups actually do use it. So today will be your turn. So what you're going to do is visit Custom Ink's Design Lab using this link here, and you're going to design and create a product that you think other people your age will be interested in buying. Remember to be creative and that all of your designs have to be appropriate for school use. So when you go to the website, it looks like this. You can click on Design Lab, and it will take you to this page right here. So you can change the product. You can make any kind of product that you'd like. You just click on all products and you can see what choices you have. I'm just going to create a t-shirt. The cause that I've decided to support is Save the Whales because narwhals are an almost endangered species. So that is the cause that I'm choosing to support with my design. So I can, customize it. I can change the color. I can add text or I can add art. I'm just going to add a saying to mine. And I'm going to add it to my design and I can change the position. I can change the color. I can change the font. Whatever you'd like to make your product, appealing to what your customers. Okay. So once you've designed your product, you're going to take a snapshot of it using the snipping tool. So you take a snapshot of it and then save it to your computer. And then you're going to post it in our class discussion board. So here is how you access the discussion board. Once you're logged into the class homepage, you click Tools and then Discussion. And then you'll see here it says Fall Honors Project Custom Ink Design. And then you're going to start a new thread. So please include your name on this thread and maybe a description. And then what I would like for you to do is attach an image to this design. So remember to upload it from wherever you store that design on your computer. So mine is here. And then you just click Add. It'll ask you for some alternative text. That's just in case your image doesn't load. And just add it to your post. And then I would like for you to include a brief 2 to 3 sentence description, just why you created it, maybe a link to the charity's website. You could include that also. And then, you can create your post that way. Your description doesn't have to be super long, just 2 to 3 sentences. And then once you're done, you're going to click post. I will have to approve the post before it shows up on our discussion board. And then your classmates are going to respond telling you how much they'd be willing to pay for your design. So remember to also respond to at least 2 other classmates' posts with an estimate of how much you'd be willing to pay for the item. So once you've gotten that information, what you're going to do now is you are going to list out all of the prices that your classmates tell you. So they will tell you, how much they'd be willing to pay, and then you're going to make a list of prices and then calculate the average. So once you've calculated the average price, I want you to think about whether this would be a good price to charge. So do some internet research. So for me, I'd look up, the average price of a t-shirt. Find the pricing of similar products to determine whether, this is like a good price. Is it too low or is it too high? Please include your sources. You can just include the link if you're using a website. And then you're going to set the price of your item. Based on the market research from your classmates and the internet sources, you're going to determine at what price you're going to sell the item that you've created. And then we're going to write an equation to represent your potential for revenue for selling the item. So revenue is how much money you get just from selling the product. So that will be the first equation in your system of equations. It's going to be y equals mx. The revenue is going to be M, which is the price per item. So say based on the research and what my classmates have told me, say I've decided to sell my t-shirt at $20 each. Okay, so my first equation would be y equals 20x. So then what we need to do is we need to figure out how much it's going to cost us to make the product, right? Because it's not just an all profit situation. We need to actually spend some money to make the item. So what you're going to do now is you're going to use custom ink to figure out the calculated price of the item. Okay, so we're going to use the school zip code to do that. So once you go back to Custom Ink's website, once you have your design there, you're going to click Get Price. And then you click Get Price again. And then you can just enter an estimate of how many of each you need. Click Continue. And then enter the school zip code, so 75057. And then click See Your All-Inclusive Price. So it'll do some number crunching, and then it will tell you, okay, so my t-shirts are going to cost $11.28 each. Okay, so I'm going to need that information to do my second equation. So my second equation is going to be telling me the cost of making the shirts. So we're going to assume a startup cost of $700 for making flyers, purchasing packaging materials, labor because we need people that are going to actually sell the shirts. And that's going to be the second equation in your system. So we're going to use y equals mx plus b. Where M is the cost of producing each item. So for me, M would be $11.28, and then $700 would be B because that is my startup cost. So now what you're going to do is you're going to solve the system of linear equations that you just wrote. You will need to use at least two methods, so graphing, linear combination, substitution, or matrices, and please show your work. If you're graphing, please include a screenshot of your graph in your final project. So what you can do now is, like, for example, if I'm going to graph my solutions, okay, so say I've decided to use graphing as one of my solution methods. Remember, I'm going to enter both of my equations. So I have y equals 20x, which is my revenue, and I have y equals 1128x plus 700, which is my cost equation. So what I'm going to determine now, what it tells me to find is, it says to find the break-even point, okay? So that will be the solution to the system of equations. So that will determine how many of the item I need to sell before starting to make a profit. So if I go back to my graph, I need to find that point. I'm going to have to zoom out a little. If I zoom out, I can see up here is where my two graphs cross. Okay, so where they intersect, that solution is going to be my break-even point. So that solution is going to be here at 80.275, 1605.505. So that means that if I sell 80, at least, well, I can't sell 0.27 of a shirt, right? So that means I need to sell 81 shirts before I start making a profit, okay? Because you see that after that point is when the green, which is my revenue graph, see that green moves above the purple graph, which is my cost graph. That's why I will start making a profit after that point. Okay, so I need to sell 81 shirts before I start making a profit. And then it asks you some questions to figure out, just some things based on your solution. So like I said, with my example, I need to sell 81 t-shirts to break even. If I sold no items, okay, so let's go back to my graph. If I sold 0 shirts, where would I be? So if I sold 0 shirts, you can see I would be down here. And I would have, let's see, my 0 shirts, I have $700 as my cost, but then I have $0 as my profit, right? So I would have all cost. So I would lose $700 if I sold no shirts, because that would just be my cost. How many items would you need to sell to make $1,000 in profit? So you're going to figure out at which point is the difference between the two lines that you just graphed. When is the difference going to be $1,000? Okay, so how many items would you sell to make $1,000 in profit? And then you're going to figure out how much profit would you make if you sold 500 items. Okay, so you're just going to use the graph to help you figure that out. So there is a rubric that shows you how you'll be graded for this project. You can submit your final project as a Word document, PowerPoint, Google slide deck, or another format of your choosing. If you are submitting your project in Google, please remember to share it so that I can see your work. And the final project is due Friday, December 2nd. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out and I will help answer any questions with this project. If you have a draft that you've done and you want me to look over it, I'd be more than happy to do so. So just let me know if you have any questions and have fun designing your items.